welcome once again to your channel, Literature and Arts. Today, we'll be considering a very interesting topic and very educative also, and eye-opening. The topic is 5 benefits of introducing your children to reading novels at a very early age. The benefits, I want to consider 5 benefits of training your children in the heart of reading novels. In this world of social media, in this world of television, films, and so on like that, the old tradition of reading novels is beginning to disappear. However, this this edition is meant to bring us back to the consciousness of the importance of reading novels, especially for children, owing to the fact that they are just starting to receive a learning culture. They are just adopting certain culture in which they will live all through their life. And I believe that one of the very good culture they should adopt is the culture of reading novels. To start with, before I go into the 5 benefits of reading novels and making your children read novels from now, I want to talk about the difference between reading novels and watching TV, or since novels is about stories, somebody will say, why not allow the child to watch the film on the TV or on the phone? One of the very important benefits of reading novels as against watching it on screen is that because words are used in the novels to create pictures. Words are used, sentences are used to create pictures in the mind of the reader. Hence, the reader begins to engage his mind in being imaginative, having pictures of what those words are painting in his mind. This is against a film or television that everything is shown. There is no need for any form of imagination or the other because everything is laid bare before them. But when a child from a young age starts reading novels, he begins to know how to imagine, how to creatively use his mind. And when that child grows with that kind of culture, when that child grows with the ability to be imaginative, to be creative with words, it goes a long way. Our investors, the investors of this world, every invention that they made came from imagination, came from creative, imaginative mind. Somebody just sat down one day and began to picture that, yes, people can move on water as a means of transportation. People can go on road. Why can't people go on the air too? What can I do? Imagination. And then it begins to think. It begins to say, can I make something that will look like a bed? And then people will sit on it. And then they will begin to go on the air. It's imagination. So from a young age, when a child is acquainted with the art of reading novels, it trains him to be very imaginative. For example, a novel begins to paint picture of a beautiful mansion with the rooms inside, with the kind of furniture, with the way the floor is tarred. The child begins to paint pictures in his mind. That imagination, that creative mind is very useful to the child. And when that child grows up, adopting that culture, having a mind trained full of imagination, You know, that child will grow up being probably a fantastic writer or an inventor. This has nothing to do with probably you're in the humanities or in the sciences. No. We have seen doctors who are very good novelists. We have seen, even if they are not novelists, the mind that has been sharpened, that have been taught to be very creative and imaginative, will be useful in any field of endeavor. So quickly, I will be going directly into the 5 benefits of um, children reading novels at a very young age. If you will see, you know, there are lots of storybooks for children. Especially when I was growing up, we had stories, Cinderella stories for children, and so on like that. All those cartoons, of course, they put colorful pictures so that it will be attractive to the children. However, from a young age, one can make a child cultivate the habit of reading. One of the benefits of reading novels is that you will be reading and at the same time you are enjoying what you are reading. So it makes the child love reading. The child is reading and at the same time he or she is enjoying himself. One of the benefits of reading is that it enhances the child's vocabulary and language skills. Whenever a child reads novel, because he's having access from a young age to uh, good sentences by proven writers, is having access to good construction of words, morphemes, new word and their usage. You will have little problem to struggle with when that kind of child gets into secondary school. He will have little or no problem when he wants to write WAEC. It's not today that parents start running helter skelter. 2 3 months to WAEC or JAM. My child needs a lesson teacher. Hey, please, his English is poor. No. You will have solved those problems right from primary school as he is reading novels by proven authors. Is reading novels, interacting with intelligent mind. You know, having access to phrases, sentence structures, it helps the child to develop a very rich vocabulary such that whenever the child is speaking or writing, it will be evident that this child has gone through some training, and that training is the training of reading novels. The second benefit of reading novels, especially for children, is that it improves their cognitive development. How do I mean? Novels stimulate like I said earlier, it stimulates a child's critical mind. It when a child begins to, in a novel, he begins to see certain character, he begins to ask questions. Why is this? Why is this that? It makes the child critical. It will not just be a yes person. No, it's begin to engage his mind. Imagination. The child's imagination is enhanced. The child is able to solve life problems. You know, because also in the stories you learn from people's you see the hero falls in the story falls because of certain flaws, certain weaknesses that he has. As a result of that, the child learns. The child improves in his cognitive ability, is able to make right decisions. Why? Because he has seen the pitfall of some people he has read about. The child is able to be critical, is able to be imaginative. That is, when a child is rubbing mind with critical and creative authors, you cannot expect that child to be anything less. So this is the second benefit of a child reading novels. It helps the child's cognitive development. The number 3 is that it helps the child empathy and emotional intelligence. empathy, and emotional intelligence. You know, it helps a child. When the child, one of the purpose of uh, reading things is that it helps a child to, when a child begins to read a novel, is engrossed in the novel, is engrossed in the character, and sometimes you will see the child will have empathy for the character. He will feel pity. That's what a novelist or a playwright seeks to achieve, where is called catharsis, where is the purgation of emotion, where the audience, the reader of the text, is feeling sympathy and emotion towards the protagonist or the main character in the text. So it helps the child to be empathetic, to be emotional, I remember, when you read certain plays, you almost forget that what you are reading is a fiction, and then you begin, oh my God, you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have done that, and you are putting yourself, because you are so much engrossed in the world of that novel, and you begin to think that all that is happening is real. So it's important. This is the second benefit of allowing your children to read novels. It helps them. I've talked about the fact that it enhances their vocabulary development, it develops their cognitive development, and also it helps a child to be emotional and empathetic. Another thing is cultural awareness. And I tell you, this is very important. In this growing world of a world where we call it a global village. A global village, that's what the world is today. From a young age, when a child begins to read novels, he begins to explore different worlds. For example, I'm reading a novel presently by an Iranian. It's the story. The novel is set in Iran. The title is The Kite Runner. You know, that novel, I'm a Nigerian. I've never been to Iran before. But because of my interaction with the text, I have idea of the Iranian culture. I have idea of the Middle East, their culture, their way of life, their pattern of thinking. The world is a global village. A child should not be, okay, he's Yoruba and all he knows about is where he lives, or he's Igbo and all he knows about is the Igbo culture. No. When a child reads, the child read novels by uh, uh, Buchi Emecheta, reads novels by um Chimamanda Adichie, their experiences in Europe. The child has not gone to Europe, but he can say, when everybody is talking outside, and the child is talking intelligently with facts and details, everybody will almost be wondering, have you gone outside the country? And no, but he has exposed himself to different cultures, he has seen different perspectives to life as a result of his encountering different characters from different parts of the world. So it's very important, when you read novels like El Nathan John Born on a Tuesday. I tell you, if you have not been in the north before and you read that novel, you will get lost in Castina, the northern part of Nigeria. You almost think you are living there as you are reading the text. Why? Because you are so lost in the text that you can relate with the cultural diversity, that you become so aware of the fact that, oh, all there is in the world is not being a Yoruba man. All there is in the world is not just being an Igbo girl. You will be aware of places and people, their perspective to life and their culture. That is what being a reader of novels enlightens you about. And lastly, The last thing that reading novels does to a child is that it enhances the child. It gives a child and trains the child, gives the child a long lasting love for reading. One thing you must train your child to do is to be a reader. You know, it has been said more often than not, those who are readers will be leaders. You know, it's not the duty of the school to make your child cultivate the habit of reading. No, it's your duty as the parent. So very early you must make them inculcate that culture of reading. And a very good way to make them learn it from a young age is to read novels. They will enjoy it, and at the same time they are adopting a culture, a good culture of reading which they will not depart from. You know, in Africa, particularly in Nigeria where I grew up, most of the time our reading is basically to do exams and pass. I remember one of Buchi Emecheta's novel, Second Class Citizen. You know, the major character in the text, Ada, she works as in the library in Nigeria, and then she relocated abroad, and then she got a job in the library also in UK. And then she was talking about the difference between the library in Nigeria and library in UK. She said the only time um, Nigerians come to the library to borrow books is because they will have one certificate exam they want to write and then they want to get a certificate. But he said in Europe that's not the case. He said you will see long queues of people coming to borrow novels, people in their old age, the husband and the wife coming hand in hand, coming to borrow novels. Let your child learn that culture right from now, right from 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old. You know, their reading should not only be during school time. No, during holidays. Give them a novel. Read this novel. When you read it and you can summarize it for me, I'm going to buy you something. As such, they are learning that reading is not about just doing an exam and passing it. Reading is life. Reading and literature offers you a very good platform. Reading novels offer a very good platform to read, enjoy, and yet be knowledgeable. To enjoy, and yet you are traversing the whole world in your room. You are in your room with a novel from Somalia. You have gone into Somalia and you are back. Oh, I remember Nuruddin Farah's Crossbones. Nuruddin Farah's some other novels like that. There's a novel by this Algerian author Kahir. You are in your room and you're already in Algeria. You are in your room and you're already in Somalia. You can tell about different things happening in the world. Why? Because you've given yourself to novel reading. So this is my advice for you today. Encourage your children to read novels. Buy it for them. There are free novels online. There are different websites where you can download free books, free novels. You are training them to be studious. You are training them to see reading as not just something you need to pass exams, to get certificate. No. Reading is life. Reading is how you build yourself. Every day you read, and they will be better for it. Thank you for listening to this broadcast today. We'll be coming back uh, the next edition with a very interesting topic that you will learn from. Till we meet, remember that the world of literature is waiting for you to explore. Thank you.